How we doing? You like this?
Oh, no, it's going now. It is? Yes, I see
Yep,
3,
yep,
4,
yep, yep.
5.
We got it. So we're recording and that's on.
Do you know where Lansing and Dawson are?
How do we get it up to there?
I know where Pelston
You
is.
don't know?
Do you really?
What do you mean, get it up to there?
Well, those cameras are, those,
Wow,
So,
even my
see it
trip
right
took
there?
me
Do
to
we
the
have
Post
a new
Network.
people, or one
On
of
the
them?
screen?
yeah.
rep-
Oh,
should be.
that's what I'm gonna figure out here. I don't
Yeah,
know.
okay.
I was,
One of these things you'd have to
Not
put on your computer
instructed.
and all that good
I
stuff.
didn't know.
I don't have a computer to.
okay, well, let's come to order. It seems there's
Is this on
numbers
now?
churning, so we're being
Mm-hmm.
recorded.
Hopefully, yeah.
Yes, there are.
You're on, like,
Other than that, I'm,
Oh, it says when O.
I just wondered how to
when
get
on
it.
O is on.
oh, up there, I don't know.
On O's
We
on.
never do that.
It is,
Yeah.
apparently recording.
Okay, well, let's get started. So, I think I distributed stuff,
Some guy
because
hates
people
that.
got stuff, so the agenda look okay?
Yep.
Affirmatory, so one thing, just curious, so Board of Trustee rep, or,
I am.
yeah?
You are.
Carolyn is? I thought I was
I
here.
think
Cheryl was last
Maybe I'm
Jen.
not supposed to be here, I don't know.
Yeah, one of you is.
One of us is extra. I don't know
Yeah,
which.
you're-
I'm thinking you are.
Well, then I'll just leave.
I was wondering, either somebody moved on or.
Yeah, I wasn't sure,
I think I got booted off, right?
you got moved to another.
Moved to another
You didn't
area.
get
You were
booted off.
reassigned.
I was reassigned to,
Reassigned, you were
to-
voluntold.
But it's okay, you're
I-
welcome here. I didn't
You won't kick me
wanna,
out.
you know.
No, we're happy to have your
further, we're
input.
welcome.
well, he's me now. See, he's got my name tag.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm,
Oh, yeah, and John is me, I see that now.
yeah, we're all,
Ray, what other committees are you on? He's
Uh,
on senior services.
Senior Services, this one, and Zoning Board of Appeals.
And I got put on rec and voting and roads and tracks or whatever.
Roads and-
Road and Track.
track and field.
We meet once a year.
I don't know.
I think so.
I can tell by the number, but I guess,
I didn't get what I requested, put it that way.
we're happy you're both here.
Thank you.
So I think we're missing Race, I touched base, he's on vacation, and Ben Zeeb, I haven't heard from Ben, so.
He's been busy.
Oh, Ben is usually here?
He
I've
is
not
our,
ever seen him here.
He comes sometimes as a staff.
Oh, really?
yeah, they're
Okay.
trying, but again, he's got a lot
Well,
going
I was gonna say, yeah, we just now
Yes.
made the offer to the new fire chief.
on. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, so,
so
you
we
know,
may get,
no,
he
it's
may get
understandable.
released from.
All right,
prison.
so, the minutes from June,
Move approval.
do I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? No, they are approved. Public comments, do we have public?
You're holding the mic, but you can probably hear me.
Yeah,
Put
yeah.
the mic.
Oh, there it is right there.
Oh,
But anyways, Judy Gardy, Park Lake Road. I'm really quite concerned about the condition of the lake. It's deplorable. It is horrible, especially at the west end of the lake. And something has to be done. We have to begin to deal with the lilies. We've got to take those pods and pads of lilies down. I don't know. I know that they can be taken care of with spray. They should be harvested. The pontoons, like Connie's pontoon from the Park Lake Creamery, he can hardly get through there anymore. There's hardly even a boating channel.
yeah.
Steve did a terrible job this year. He did not come down to our end of the lake at all, even though I hired him. And that's between me and him. He did not even adequately treat my weeds. I'm very disappointed in him. If he doesn't have a boat that's shallow enough to get down there and do the job, then we should find somebody else. And I'm speaking on my own personal behalf. I am not representing my community. But
Right.
this is the way I feel about it, and I think we have to get serious. He's had that contract forever. He said he wasn't gonna use Percellacor, and when you look at the list of chemicals that he used this year, he used Percellacor again. And his
Yeah.
staff did a terrible job. Posting, they sprayed on the lake and they didn't even post the beach.
Yeah.
I am very disappointed in his performance and in the performance of the chemicals that he's using
Yeah.
to treat the lake. The lake is a mess, and we have to do better. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Judy. Okay.
I'll just come up to say that I'm ditto what Judy just said. Of course, I've been talking about my end of the lake for quite some time, and it just keeps filling in and filling in. And I understand that gradually, eventually, these things happen to lakes. They fill in, but not in 10 years. Not in 10 years. Maybe 100 years, 200 years, not in 10. And ever since that dike went in, not saying it's related or correlated, but ever since that dike went in, it's just compounding. It's just going faster and faster, it seems. And I know you all will be very worried about it soon because it's headed your way. It's already encroached my place, and just wanted to also reiterate what Judy said. When I did call to hire the fella, I'm sorry, I don't know his name, to do the weeds. He just flat out said, no, he doesn't do anyone on Outer Drive, he can't get there. No.
We took him out on a boat tour, and he said he would start treating those weeds down there, and he would get in as far as he could. And he doesn't do it, he lied. I'm just tired of it.
Well, and there's a whole nother issue, is that, you know, the township board is approving that money to pay to him, you know, which is coming from the taxpayers.
Yeah.
It's a problem.
Yeah, so that's
Okay, that's it, thanks.
good, thank you, that is our major topic for later in our agenda. Good, well, thank you for sharing. So moving on to Park Lake, Friends of Park Lake reports, now you put on a different hat.
You want a hat? What was the date? What was the date? October 21st? Oh, shoot, you did. Friends of Park Lake annual meeting has been postponed several times. We are now having it on October 21st, is that right, Meg?
I think that's right.
And we will be discussing the condition of the lake, as well as plans for, the organization for next year. I think we'll be working on, corridor improvement, beautification, things like that, that are visible, that people can see and appreciate. Thank you.
What time on the 21st?
7 PM at the community center?
21st?
Yeah.
21st, 7 PM. Thanks for being patient.
Okay, there we go.
I did ask you, Dan, if you could attend that meeting.
I should be able to.
Thank you.
Yep, the original timing now would have been impossible for me. Okay, so township report, I think that was you, Ray, anything to share from the township relevant to the,
Not relative to the lake, really.
so, any other things
I,
that?
in fact, thought about it all day today. I said, what am I gonna say, you know, concerning the lake? And nothing really.
Yeah.
We spoke of, you know, just starting to work on the budget and
Yeah.
the strategic plan, which, you know, includes the,
Did we talk about in the meeting,
The
or am I
rec
thinking
plan and
of
all that
having
stuff.
different
Planning and-
people come and give estimates to do something?
well,
Was that at the other meeting?
no,
I'm not sure.
that wasn't,
Okay.
that wasn't.
I can't hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We were just talking between each other.
Yeah,
But we're here.
I didn't remember where it was mentioned about getting proposals from people for chemicals and or dredging or whatever, that I think needs to be done from point of view of the board, that I, as a board member, not officially here, I would like to try to get that done.
Yeah,
You know.
I'll share what I know.
Okay.
Go from there.
You wanna talk?
We'll talk to that when we get
Okay,
down to the
sorry.
weed treatment, I mean, the lake treatment as a
Right.
whole, so.
You have something to add too, when we get down to that, so.
Here, let me just make my notes, since I serve as secretary as well.
You're the secretary tonight too?
Yeah,
Every
we
night.
Just don't have one.
Who
earlier.
usually is?
Me. No, I've just been doing it, because it's just, I take notes anyways, so.
Yeah.
Why not? So the action item list, I've got here. So some of this, it truthfully has been a busy summer for me in a lot of ways, and we've all been busy. Phragmites, I haven't noticed any, I haven't really gotten up in on the corners where it was. So,
I haven't
but
been
Race said he had a little at his property, so.
Really?
If he was here, I'd get an update from him.
Yeah, the only time I ever see him is on State Road, you know,
Yeah, is that patch right at,
between here and 27th, so.
yeah, there's some around. So Phragmites, but it hasn't expanded to where it's real noticeable. So that almost can move down to a future, but it's fine.
If you want, I can go back and look at that, one spot just before the bend in the trail.
When I start duck hunting, I'll see, because I'll be getting into those kind of.
Oh, really? Okay,
ducky
you go back
places.
in that far?
I go where I can. The coliform bacteria, I didn't download it enough. But if folks want to see, let me see here.
I went on the website and looked at it, that was all, I didn't.
Yeah,
Download.
so, you know, it's been a couple of years ago that we had the big closure. Since then, we had Goose Busters out, and I think it's really been working. That and nobody's feeding ducks or geese on the beach, which
Yeah.
helps a lot. The averages we had on 8/12 was 14, you know, and before we were at the 300s, 400s.
Over 100.
Yeah, so 8/12 looked good. 8/5 had a bit of a bump up, just a couple of sites, but then 7/29 was at 38, 32, 20, you know, so
Way down.
it's been low enough that there's been no real, no real need for action. You know, for context, last year, we had some problems in August, and it was at 600 on 8/6, and 250, 230s.
I haven't seen any geese out there.
Yeah, I've only seen a couple. They're starting to migrate
Well, I was gonna
back.
say, now is the time when they're gonna start, especially with the temperature dropping and
Yeah,
stuff, so.
they'll be migrating. So anyways, the point is, I think, you know, that whole area for the lake's been working along. Lake monitoring, early in the year, the water clarity was very poor. It was really turbid, and again, the why is hard to say. The last time I went out to get chlorophyll, I don't know what day it is, last week, and it seemed I got 9 foot. I don't know if you got similar, Don?
I was out today and I got 10 foot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's really
So-
clear. I mean,
so
from my bedroom, I can see the
Yeah,
bottom.
the water's cleared up a lot. Now, some of that, for better or worse, is due to the plants taking up that nutrients
Oh, Max,
and
you can see
clearing
it's
up
like
the
20
water,
foot.
so, but, you know, we've been doing the monitoring. One thing, I don't think I have it on here, is because of my schedule, normally I do the plant survey in early August, and I was out of town, got family, so I don't know if I'm gonna get out this year at all, although the motoring around the lake, the survey is, it's full of milfoil, you know, that's without a doubt.
It is.
So, next up, goose management, that seems to be working, so I think that's all good. The nature trail, I haven't heard any updates. I think we're kind of at a,
Well, that's kind of that'll be a segue on the board's rep, who is me.
Yeah.
We'll go back to that.
Can you speak into the mic, please?
Certainly.
Right.
I'm not speaking yet, I'm trying to think of what I'm gonna say, hold on. It's on.
okay,
That's why we brought you here today.
in line, geez.
I'm trying to go back and remember the chronology here. Actually, I was going to say something at one meeting a couple of weeks ago, and Kate Hagerman actually brought it up and asked, what's going on with the Park Lake Trail, you know? And so I asked if we could get an update periodically about when and how we're doing on getting the easement from Oak Island. And Karen just said that she hadn't heard any responses, and she didn't even know if her letters were getting through. And so next, she was gonna send a certified letter, and that was last month. So I don't have any update on that any further.
Okay, but I'll make a note. So Karen indicated, we'll try.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so budget recommendation, we'll dig into deeper, but our notes are the request for 2025 was 33,075 for weed and goose management.
Is that, what percentage is that more than this past fiscal
I
year?
think we did 10%, I think
Okay.
is what we did. So we'll talk what our proposal is, and then we'll write it up. And then without Ben here, I haven't really touched base about the boat ramp parking area renovations that are kind of a notion, but I don't think there's
That's
any real action.
pretty much about as close as it's gonna get, yeah.
So, anything else folks have? Updates, some stuff, so, water level report?
We always like to inject a little bit of color into that's what John
Our
does.
color commentary,
Yeah.
right, yeah.
He does it well.
Oh, here, I just passed this along. Oh, you're gonna,
Wow, nice paper, John.
Yeah.
really?
Really nice.
yeah, so.
Thank you.
The water level has dropped a lot lately, hasn't it?
Yeah, it has.
You know, I leave town and, you know, the water level drops. I pulled my finger out of the,
Out of the dike.
Well, that, you got a different.
yeah, but it was,
No,
you
turn it
know,
over.
we're down on precipitation
Yeah, turn it over again.
quite a bit.
Yeah, no, not yet,
So,
a couple of inches, I guess.
Yeah,
And
wow.
one thing, that-
Yeah,
Well, it's been, we've
I'm not
been
sure if it's
drought.
real,
We're
but
definitely
Yeah,
it seems like
drought.
there's
It's,
a
it didn't rain as much as it was supposed to, or was
And
it?
here, and
and we
They
had,
had
it
forecast.
missed, it
Here.
missed areas. It was
And
like, my
for
farmer,
years,
10
they're
miles
not-
north of me got
it's
6
not
inches
like-
and I got 0.
yeah.
it's new versus old.
So it's just, it's been
Right.
training.
Just the pattern
Well, at
this
least
year
we
has
didn't get
been
down
more
to
of a
2013 levels.
different, both temperature, I think the wind has been high.
Was
so
that
we've got more
before?
The yellow,
evaporation.
the yellow
Yeah.
is just before the dike was built,
Just before.
before the water control structure, yeah.
Yeah.
That was 14.
So, yeah, thank you, John. I think, you know, the folks out there, John observed, you know, there seems to be kind of a cluster of two different patterns when we get toward early September. It's kind of either relatively high water from a wet summer or relatively low from a drier summer, but it's not like, you know, early, late, other than the 2013 was prior to the dike going in, where it was, you know, a foot and a half lower than it is at kind of the bank full, so to speak, so, yeah, I noticed, like I said, I was away about 10 days and it really dropped a lot in that short time, you know, it's, you know, kind of come down a lot, so. Good, well, thank you, John. I don't think we had any old business per se, so the new business, I'll just jump to the limnology, St. Lasmore, an update, like I said, I haven't been able to get out to do the kind of weed, you know, or plant surveys.
Step out.
Oh, yeah, of course. We'll wait to start about the budget request, for John. So, but the lake is, in a, you know, milfoil mess. That's just the truth. The other things is you observe, and I don't wanna be confrontational, but dredging, you know, when I talk to Eagle, again, they really don't issue permits, without even, you know, they almost don't issue permits. I mean, that's, I'm just trying to be honest.
To
you know,
dredge.
To dredge. I mean, even people with marinas are having struggles getting permit, so, you know,
Even harvesting would be helpful.
a harvester in there, again, I wanna be clear, if they're native plants, that requires a different permit, and they won't allow it other than for individual properties.
permitted.
Pardon? Has to be permitted, but the permits are individual permits, not
Proper.
broadly across the whole west end, for native plants.
But if we never get any of that information, then we never know where to start.
So I have conveyed this multiple times, that's where my frustration is. Native plants can be treated in a narrow zone to allow you to navigate. Plants, the muck is a whole other world of hurt. And I recognize that, I go out there, I try to fish, you know, and again, I will somewhat disagree, Meg, you know, lakes fill in naturally over a long period, but with human influences, as these lakes are, that accelerates it, you know, and whether it's coming airborne, whether some of it is just because the struggle we have, you're correct, when the lake came up with the dike, that changes everything. But if we didn't do that, it would have been, you know, 18 inches lower, where the muck starts would have been, you know, the beginning of just water even, so.
It's a rock and a hard place for sure.
We are, you know, and again, the harvesters don't deal with that muck. Again, you know, those are roots of lilies that come up. You know, and again, once you start disturbing sediments, that starts into being viewed as dredging. You know, and then that's a whole world of permitting. So, I mean, you know, the board, what I'd say is, you know, I've looked into it, I've done the requests, but, you know, that was several years ago, times have changed. But there's a point where it becomes, you know, pursuing all that information is a full-time job. It's a job, not a
Is
advice.
chemical answers, is that impossible also governmental rules
Again,
wise?
native plants, broadly speaking, you can't treat
Kill 'em.
with herbicide,
Except your own property?
except for narrow parts
So
of your own
if you
property.
got everybody to agree on their own property, one after another all the way,
They're gonna permit only narrow little
Yeah,
bits.
you're allowed to make a channel literally out to.
not your whole property frontage.
I
No,
don't-
no,
that I
not
don't
your
know.
whole property, no.
Yeah.
I think it's a 50-foot wide swath.
Yeah.
So again, these are DEQ rules, I'm just relating
And
what,
whoops, if you drop too much in?
pardon? Steve, or any reputable applicator will not do that, because they
Can't
will
do your
lose
own.
their license, no, you
Any
can't.
Can't do
reputable
your own.
applicator, I'm sorry, can't
Well,
hear you.
won't, she said, can you put it in on your own? No, that would be a
Okay.
Eagle violation, and you
Okay.
could be fined. But putting excess, no, any reputable applicator will not go and treat more broadly, you know. It was interesting this spring when the first treatment went out, and I'm not sure what actually got applied, Judy, in terms of when the list of what's there, that's the list of what could be applied. But I don't think Steve put out Procellacor this year. I'm pretty
It's
sure.
on the list of chemicals to be used,
It,
on that
when.
yellow pad, that yellow.
Yeah, no, I know, what I'm saying is, when they put those up, it's often, these are the chemicals that they might use. Because the permit, when they apply for the permit, they're listing all the chemicals they might use. What actually got applied that day, again, I haven't, been able to check with Steve to update. Early in the spring, I noticed that the lily pads did get knocked back really pretty hard. And I haven't been out in a couple days, but they just treated, and it looked like the lily pads, the leaves get knocked back, but the roots don't, you know, and, again, that's kind of a, collateral damage, but it's not really gonna treat them
I
back.
was out of town the last time he treated,
Yeah,
and he did not treat at the west end of the lake, there were no notices on our end of the lake.
yeah,
The last time he was here. While I was out of town, I received a notice from Bianca, oh, he's been down here, I got a tag in my yard.
yeah.
But I had no tags in my yard, none of my
Yeah.
neighbors.
And that's something that, you know, I think we need to address with Steve, that, you know, I don't know why or
Doesn't
what.
come down there.
The last time he treated, I watched him treat. I forgot to pay mine too this year, but I did see him treat out there, but I did not get a tag in my yard either, so.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was didn't treat or didn't properly place the tags.
Yeah, probably. If you didn't
Or
get a
some
tag,
combination.
Either one is no good. Either one of those things.
I don't disagree. But, I'd like to address the muck islands we're seeing out there. I know how deep the water was there. And, I know there's not that much muck there that's been added to that column. I've seen this before on the lake, and my observation is that sometimes when, things change, sometimes with carp coming in and working an area,
yeah,
or a lot of really heavy wave action, those lily pad roots are like yay big around and they're really floating.
Tubers.
they wanna float, but they're in the muck, but for some reason, every once in a while, they get knocked loose. And they don't just come up to to the surface, they bring a lot of that soil up with them. So what you may be seeing might very well be just a temporary situation until those lily pads get kind of used to a new water level. And I'm not sure about,
It's not just my opinion, one of my neighbors, even further down Outer, I think she was almost the last house on Outer Drive. She had the fellas come out because she was actually gonna have them clean out her channel. Yeah, make a channel for her, clean out her in front of the house, and they couldn't even do it because they couldn't move that amount of earth.
yeah, it's a lot of,
And they were talking about the earth in the water, not,
right.
you know.
Yeah, yeah, so those are, I have observed though, Don, those can be very persistent. once
Yeah, they can,
come-
yeah, once they get another type of plant growth on them,
They,
they become more permanent, but.
yeah, so,
You know, I made a mistake once of dragging my anchor around, and boy, that really does a job on those tubers.
yeah,
Just keep doing that every night.
well,
not saying
and the carp this year were really pretty.
Do they use Roundup pellets to sink to the bottom, or they do use
I
Roundup?
don't think it's Roundup, it's a different
Different.
chemical.
I use some of that in my pond. I mean, I can do whatever
In
I
a
want.
private pond, you have
Yeah.
a different thing, as long as it's not connected. If it was
It's not.
flowing, yeah, if it was flowing elsewhere, that's,
What about aerators or things?
we've had discussions of that, and I think, again, I'm not trying to dismiss it as an idea, but, the measurements I did of oxygen in the shallower part of the lake, it's oxygenated to the bottom. Now, once you go below the bottom, it goes without oxygen. You know, and the evidence that they actually work is pretty iffy. We've got so much organic material built up,
Yeah.
you know, it's, it may eventually break down, but that's, I think,
When I talked to somebody, they said that permitting to put the effluent that they take out is just
Yeah.
as problematic
well-
as getting a permit to take it out.
yeah, it's just, again, disposing of materials.
And it has to be like X amount of.
It has to be out of
miles
the
or-
watershed.
Yeah, out of the watershed and all of that kind of
And
stuff.
And what's in it? I'm sure
they have
that's
to
part of
test for,
tested.
they have to test for contaminants.
Heavy metals
so.
and all that good stuff.
So, I think there's two elements that I think, you know, we as a group need to provide advice on. I think one is a budget recommendation. And then secondly, I think it's plan of treatment as well as who treats. I think, it isn't our job to solicit bids, but I think we do need to provide that type of advice. It's time to probably shop a little bit around, you know.
You think it is time then to do that?
Well, to get different bids, just to see what other people's thoughts are. The process I would propose is, the township is the one who does that type of work. It's
Right.
inappropriate for us to do it. But once they get various bids and options for treatment, bring it back to us to provide comment on. That would be the advice I'd have. And
Yeah.
again, the earlier we get it done, the better. I think this year, one of the challenges, I spoke with Steve, sometime in the winter, and he was thinking of doing a whole lake treatment, but the transfer of funds happened too late, and he couldn't get the permit application in time. So, a whole lake treatment's a whole other chemical, that's what's called fluoridone or sonar.
So he didn't do the whole lake treatment that he said he was gonna do?
He couldn't because the permit, he couldn't apply for the permit in time. That was his plan, and whether
He
he's,
and I talked about it a lot.
yeah, no, I did too, but again, we advise the township has to implement, and that's my understanding. I'm not the one, and it has not been,
That's why you didn't come down to our end.
for fluoridone, that, it would have been the whole lake. When he does the other chemicals, it's more spot treatment just because of the cost and the way the permitting is. You can't,
I didn't understand that.
yeah. Now, the other issue, though, I think, again, again, advice to the general public is if you don't feel like you're being treated well for your individual property, again, there's plenty of other, herbicide applicators that may or may not do individual lake treatments, but you can hire anybody you really want, as far as I know. It's whether they're willing to come out and that. So you know, one of the things for me is I'll see if I can get a list of other applicators in the area, just so people can shop around individually.
So if he didn't do a whole lake treatment, was the amount spent less this year?
Not really, again, that chemical, I think it was a little less, but again, I don't know
I mean, you don't
the
know-
budget details on that. So I don't know if the sonar's really, you know, any more expensive, but it's a permitting and timing and that. So I'll try to get a list of other applicators that people can shop around, and again, that may be for the township as well, and see what shakes out, because again, you know, some people promote the aeration, some are into mechanical harvesting, and some are chemical-based, and some are say, well, just live with it. I mean, there's, different outfits have different philosophies, and it's worth hearing what they propose.
What was that one person's, her last name was Jones, I believe. And she was the,
Restorative Lake Services.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And she said
Jennifer.
there was too much
Jennifer.
milfoil. We couldn't do anything with aeration until we got rid of the milfoil.
right, well, you're never gonna get rid of milfoil, 100%.
I can't hear you.
You're never gonna get rid of milfoil, ever.
What?
Did you say milfoil?
Yeah, so anyways, yeah, Jennifer, I know her reasonably well, and, yeah, you know, again, her group, they often do look into aeration.
Yeah.
But again, and again, my own personal view is, again, so much of the lake is shallow, there's oxygen down to the bottom because it mixes 6-8 feet. It's the plants don't let it mix, but aeration won't offset the plants.
Is it my imagination, or did the beach or the swimming area really get a lot smaller this year? It seems like it's like half
Well, earlier, the water
of
was so
what they
high.
had in the past, huh?
Earlier, the water was so high, it seems like.
Well, that's true, but it looks like the buoys that they put in.
Oh, yeah, the buoys,
The buoys
The
are,
the marked swim
Yeah.
area was much smaller.
it looked like half the size of it, you know, it's been for the last 10
Oh,
years.
in the water?
Right.
yeah, no, the buoys are in a little different place, I'm not
And I
sure.
just wondered, well, maybe they're doing that because the weeds are so pervasive, you know? I don't know.
I don't
We'd
know.
have to, and Ben would be the one to answer that,
Right.
so.
Right. So, here, so I'll make notes when we kind of come up. So, the two elements, I think, you know, one of our main things is budget recommendation, and I'd propose that we, you know, take last year's 10% as a, you know, kind of a buffer, although, given inflation potential, maybe 15% bump up, and, propose that as a budget, and then process, I outlined what I thought we might advise, any,
Is it being effective at all, though? I mean, that's the point.
yeah,
Is it?
Is
Yeah.
this worth the money?
yeah,
And if we do the whole lake treatment, I mean, if the milfoil's never gonna go away,
yeah.
even sufficient, I mean, not completely, but is it
Yeah.
worth it?
Yeah, so the data we have from the past is when they've done Floridone, it goes darn near zero for a year or two.
Yeah.
And then the seed bank catches up. You know, but it's like your lawn, you know?
Right.
Is you don't, you know, you don't treat it to kill all, if you kill all the weeds one year,
Right.
they're back.
But, so the township would, to understand why it wasn't done this year, because the township was late in giving money?
That's my understanding. So because the permitting process for the whole lake Floridone treatment's a
Right.
bit more expansive.
So I guess this year, maybe we should get a timeline
So, yeah, so we
from
need, if we're
Steve.
gonna recommend.
Or
the whole
whoever's
lake
gonna do
treatment,
it.
Then we need to say,
Yeah, that's
We-
the
needs to
important
be
thing
done.
about
Well-
this is the timing.
Yep.
Yeah, so I think, you know, we can recommend a whole lake treatment, but I would, you know, the other part of that is to recommend soliciting other proposals from
Sure.
other people. But the time, you know, we can't have it be late, otherwise we're in the same situation as this year.
and do you have a sense of what late is?
No, I'll have to check when I don't do
Is
those
it-
permits.
Spring, is it winter? I mean,
In the winter, you gotta get it in, I think, January, February, March.
Okay.
You know, March is pushing it, cause
Could we suggest a whole lake treatment and ask for $50,000?
I don't think it's gonna bump it up that much.
Well, I mean, we ask for it, you know,
Yeah.
we're gonna
but you
get
got-
30
You
probably.
have to have some basis for them, you can't just
Justification,
throw a figure.
Yeah. So
But bids.
Yeah, but my guess is a whole lake treatment's probably gonna come real close to that in this day and
I
age.
mean, I'll do some rough math here.
I always do rough math.
So what's 15% is basically 1/7. So what is 1/7 of 33?
Well, 50% it's,
15, so it's,
5,000.
yeah, so that'd bring us up to 38. So maybe, I'd say maybe 40,000 as a budget request for both treatment and the goose. And again, that should give us enough buffer for a whole lake treatment.
And the goose was 3,500, I think, wasn't it,
It was
for a year?
pretty minimal, yeah. I mean, I think that was money very well spent considering
Yeah,
we've been
this
able to
year-
keep the beach open.
Yeah. You haven't seen any geese down there by you, have you, Judy?
The what?
You've not seen any geese down there by you, have you?
I saw, 5 migratory geese yesterday when I came home, but
Yeah.
I haven't seen any geese.
The reason I ask her is because she has water right in front of her house. Yeah.
No, I saw them by the beach the other day, the same 5, and they're flying, they're coming back out.
Probably residents.
September 1st opens goose season.
What's different than,
Serious.
last night I watched a osprey take about a 8-inch bluegill off in front of my house.
Oh, wow,
He had a bluegill and he was having trouble getting out of the water.
wow.
Who was it?
That's a
Kingfisher?
bigger bluegill than I've ever caught.
Really? The osprey? Sorry to segue here, but
Yeah,
I just was reading about, how to build osprey nesting sites. And maybe that's something Friends of Park Lake or somebody could do, cause I think they'd go for it.
yeah, they're around, obviously. I've seen them on and off all summer. So I'll go back, so budget request 40, sound
Sure.
round number?
They can always come down, but
Ask
they
for
can never
more.
go up, you know?
40K, well, and if we had, again, if the
If you
whole
had to-
lake, if things go crazy, we'll come back to the township and ask for a special, but,
Well, the reason I say that is because we're gonna start working on the budget.
No, I know.
She's supposed to have it into us September 1,
yeah, I'm gonna,
which is like 2 weeks.
after tonight, I'll submit our proposal. So what I'm hearing though is kind of support for whole lake treatment, emphasis on timeliness, and also, potentially soliciting multiple, but bringing it back to us for our input. I think that's a loop that's not been well closed.
If they, the staff does choose a different outfit,
Yeah.
even if they don't, let's press for a timeline,
Yeah,
for permitting and stuff, so that we don't step on our own toes next time,
yeah. So I'll probably do is I'll write this up, I'll circulate it just so, you can all just say
Yeah.
accuracy and edits and that. And
Sure.
then I'll get it in, I should be able to get it in tomorrow, the next day to you, short time to make the, so it gets into the board of trustees. So multiple, quotes, timeliness. Yes. Yeah, so I think those are the things, again, I do recognize, again, the desires of folks to see dredging. And again, I'm being honest, if you wanna pursue it, I can give you the name of the person to talk to and see what they say, I mean, with the Eagle, cause that's the impediment.
I always know the runaround that's ahead, but I suppose we have to start someplace.
Well, I'm, again, being somewhat blunt, if you don't believe me, go talk to them yourself, that's,
I do, that's
yeah.
not.
Well, I'm not saying you specifically, Meg or Judy, it's just, there's folks that I think keep harping on dredging, and I don't know what to tell you. It's both the permitting, but then the expense is again, the next hurdle after that. Even if it were permitted, it would be unlikely the township would pay the
Well, our
multi-millions.
experience has been that if you wanna get a permit to dredge, you have to do a lake study, and then you're out of money, and then you can't dredge anymore. And we've done that 3 times now, so
Yep.
let's not do that anymore.
I think 1989 was the last time, wasn't it? Snell did it. They're out of business now.
So has anything changed legislatively or
Not that I'm, not,
with anything with, with
Not to
all
the
the different
positive.
administrations, they haven't changed at all?
For the worse, they've changed this time. Taking money away now for
well,
anything
but I
like
think,
that.
yeah, the budget for Eagles changed, but I think the laws pertaining to that, to my understanding, haven't changed.
Is that through the legislature, or is that, is it interpretation of the executive branch, or is that legislative?
That's, you're out of my field.
Okay.
Yes,
I mean,
good
I don't know,
questions.
He has good questions for someone who's policy involved, not me.
I'm surprised it hasn't changed over time with the different administration, that's why I'm,
Yeah, it's
and the
been
different,
fairly
legislative.
consistent, you know,
Federally,
as
it
far as I
does all
know.
the time.
It
Pardon?
appears
Federally,
state-wise,
Jesus.
Eagle,
Yeah.
they pretty much run their own show. They're pretty autonomous when it comes to regulations and the
and
like.
that's what I'm trying to
And those,
understand.
I
where-
mean, they talk about section 317 and
Yeah.
all, or whatever, but I think those acts or whatever haven't really been changed or amended, to my understanding. You know, it's been pretty consistent for as long, you know, again, some of you have been on the lake longer, known about that stuff longer. So, I'll draft that up, but does that kind of meet the consensus? I see nods
Yes.
and nods, okay. So, next up, public comments, any more? So,
I got it,
oh, go ahead, Meg.
because I didn't ask it whatever I want, right?
Yep,
It
Yeah,
won't take.
we're more informal too, it's,
Excuse me, is the, now that I have all of you here, is that lake, Park Lake, is that spring fed, or is it, no?
So-
I keep getting different answers.
so it's fed by groundwater, meaning, but whether they're actual springs you can see, probably not. There's one spot that I go to that is consistently sandy amongst all the mud, so I think that's a spring, but it's not even visible. But we have a very small
And then you have
watershed.
Clean water coming up through the sand.
Pardon?
Clean, like
Th-
clean.
There's clean water coming up, but it's so slow it doesn't bubble.
bubble or- okay.
So, but our lake watershed area is very small, so that means there's not a lot of rain running off into it. You know, so it has to be fed largely by groundwater or just rainwater falling in,
Runoff.
you know,
Right,
you know,
well, and that just,
yeah.
yeah,
But
that
we-
would be like Lake Lansing used to be, I would.
I don't know what
Well,
Lake
yeah,
Lansing
that
used
was
to be,
true.
but again, the other thing, if you look, we don't really have hills around us, which would be where other lakes that are really spring fed have bigger hills where the groundwater's forced in by gravity.
Okay, so just seeking groundwater. And, did anybody see any fledglings from the eagle's nest this year? I did not.
I wasn't sure if the birds I saw were young eagles or not. When I went out, the one looked like an immature the day I went out, but
When was that?
it was kind of July-ish.
Okay, so it was after the major windstorms then?
Yeah, I thought I saw one, but, you know,
Yeah.
again, it's,
I thought I saw one earlier,
Yeah.
before that giant windstorm,
yeah,
but I couldn't see it again and I wasn't positive.
right, and they might not have hung around,
Right.
but they might have
Well, I mean, this
dispersed.
was, yeah, this
Yeah.
was,
Yeah, I don't think the giant windstorm, I don't think they would have fledged yet. They would have been just
yeah.
like a week or two away from
Yeah,
doing that. With Round Lake and Lake Lansing and all of their, you know, like their projects, did they just do that like long before? You said you did a
The-
survey in 1989.
89, yeah.
Did they start,
so Lake Lansing was dredged quite a long time
It was
ago,
dredged.
but it was, again, that was in a different, that's when laws have changed.
Different
since then.
era, and I
Yeah.
think they changed because of
I think
that.
I think it was the seventies.
Yeah,
really?
it was quite a
Because
long.
when I lived on Lake Lansing in '84, and it had already been,
It had already been?
Yeah.
John, you had lived on Lake Lansing, when was that you lived there?
Until about 84, it was, I lived there for maybe 6 years or something, I don't remember.
So was it dredged before you lived there?
Before I lived there.
yeah, it was dredged, I think in the early '70s.
So before all the, well, before Eagle.
Probably, I mean, it was
Before there was an
it was
eagle?
before the Clean Water Act.
Yeah, that was what it was.
I mean, there's a whole host of things that changed.
They're getting into a lot of trouble about not removing from the sediment from the
from the
I don't know if they
floodplain,
got in trouble, but that was an error. They could do it, maybe, and,
from the watershed. They had, I remember seeing the pipeline that they pumped it
Yeah.
out, that big muck sucker. They had a rotary, just this giant rotary auger that would go like this and it would suck up the muck and the water and then pipe it. It was like a half mile or something across the road and over where that, dump site is now.
Did anybody disappear?
Probably a lot of fish and stuff disappeared.
maybe
but-
Jimmy Hoff is there.
Well, and I remember they had a huge algal bloom after that. I mean, it was
Yeah.
like totally unusable for a couple of years. You remember that, Don? Or you don't remember that? It was like,
I don't fish over there, I don't go over there.
well, it was just after we got out of high school, so.
Yeah,
Yeah, but you,
I lived on Lake Lansing for a little while too
Oh,
myself.
you did not?
Yep, 1964, 63.
Well, that was before my
Remember
time.
that?
No. Well, I remember that.
No, you did not.
67 is when I met you.
Yeah, so, yeah, I was over there for a year, but,
Then you got it to work release or what? You got work release program then or what?
yeah, pretty much, and that's what it was.
so, okay, so is that it, Meg? Those are the main questions?
I don't know why I
Okay, no.
kept standing there, I was just.
No, that's all right. No, those are good questions.
Yeah, good
You know,
questions.
Again, the groundwater fed, we haven't done like measurements on that, but the groundwater in some areas has a lot of nutrients too, so that sometimes exacerbates.
One thing I
One
worry
of the
about
things we've
is,
seen over the years is that, when the first ice comes on, there'll be a spot where the ice doesn't come on.
right over by your house.
Well, it moves all over the lake from year to year. It never comes up in the same spot. One year it was right in front of the creamery.
Yeah.
One year it was right on the south end.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's wherever the water can find its way to the lake, sometimes you'll see the lake is late freezing in that spot.
yeah.
All right,
And
well,
the-
I'm gonna have to watch for it.
Meg, the last time I read a DNR study, and I don't remember the date that they had taken the study, but it classified Park Lake as what was called a kettle lake. And it was almost totally dependent on surface runoff for the, right, and that's why it's so important for us to get, in the early seventies, about 76, I think we got sewers all the way around the lake,
Yeah.
municipal sewer. And then, trying not to put a lot of fertilizer and stuff on our lawns and stuff, that would help too. That was one thing I always worried when Timber Ridge came around. I'm thinking, God, that can't be good, as high up as that is. That's almost the highest spot in Clinton County, second highest spot.
Right.
Almost
But I
900
think
feet.
they're out of our watershed, though.
No, they're
Timber
not.
Ridge isn't?
No,
Oh, I
Timber
thought-
Ridge is literally across the road from Park Lake.
Yeah.
And the,
It is higher, no, that's
what is
true.
that drain? There's a drain. There's literally a significant drain, not the Peterson
Oh.
drain, but it's another one. And, you can see it on Fetch GIS.
Yeah.
Comes right out of Timber Ridge and goes right over, almost through Oak Island,
Hmm.
and then turns and goes to the lake.
Oh,
So I'm thinking, God, I hope they have enough
that one, it's funny, I've been,
percolation through there to,
yeah, I haven't.
That's the one thing about that water, is it does go through a lot of swamp.
It
area,
does.
but
Yeah.
and that's why that wetland behind the lake is so important, That's
Yeah,
what's,
yeah.
that's
'Cause I
what's
haven't
straining
seen a
that.
specific input from there.
Yeah, I'll try to find it and show it to, I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'm thinking on the lake itself.
Yeah, no.
Where, I mean,
Where you'd see a huge algal bloom from.
Well,
the-
I hunt that whole edge and there's not a clear
Yeah.
inlet, if you will, but,
Dan, is this the last year for our special assessment for the water control structure?
I don't know, that's a good
I
question.
believe it is. I think this is the last year. It was 12 years,
Will we
right?
receive, I wonder, any notification about that? You no longer have to pay your,
300 and, what is it, $370 or something like that a year? Well, that's one reason,
I think it's this year.
that's one reason I was so gun shy about dredging, because we, the 120 that are the riparian owners around the lake, would get smacked big time. I wouldn't be surprised to see it go $1,000 more for our special assessment, if they got, money for dredging.
It'd be,
Oh goodness, more than that.
it'd be.
Well, I mean, they don't make you pay the whole thing, but our portion,
Was $3,000 just for that?
Yeah, it would have been, it would have been a lot.
what do you mean?
If, I mean, if the dredging was in the, 5 million, which probably is.
7.9 is the last I
Yeah,
did for,
so
that was just,
Divide that by 100, that's more than,
oh yeah, but I'm saying we don't, like it just says
Yeah,
the
but
water
that would
control
be a
structure, we
significant
didn't have to
amount.
pay the whole
It'd
thing.
be more than 1,000 a year, yeah.
Yeah,
Be several thousand.
well, it has to
So-
be palatable. I mean, they can't put everybody out of business, you know. on
No,
the lake,
that's,
so-
Well, they make everyone move.
Well, that's true.
so.
What's that called,
but I'll-
gentrification?
So I'll try to check on that, Judy. Again, those are things, truthfully, I just paid mine up front and done with it, because I wanted to be
Could
done
you
with it.
pay mine too, please?
I could, I won't, but I could. So, next agenda, probably the same agenda, but I think we'll try to meet in September. I think we got enough stuff to talk about.
Oh, yeah, the
Thank you for the graph.
last test I have is September 11th.
Thanks for coming.
Oh,
See you
okay.
guys.
Judy?
Phosphorus.
Yep.
I imagine your last test is gonna be around the same time.
Right around the same time, yeah. So
Yeah.
we'll coordinate to bring them in.
Yeah. You take a, you do take a safety disc test every time you take. your
Every
test,
time
right?
chlorophyll, yeah.
Yeah, phosphorus doesn't require.
No, no, so,
Require a safety disc test, but.
yeah, so. Okay.
Motion to adjourn?
Yep, sounds good. So we can press the